This training video is going to go over how to export your contacts from Outlook into a spreadsheet that's formatted correctly to import into your OpenMoves contact database. So before we begin, just a disclaimer that I am using Office 2013, so I'm going to use Outlook 2013 and Excel and Word 2013 in this demonstration. Instructions may vary depending on that version of Outlook that you have. So to find your version, you can go to your Outlook, File, Office account, and About Outlook. Okay, so the goal of getting your contacts out of Excel is to get it into a spreadsheet that looks like this, where we have all of the same type of data in columns. So emails are all in the same column. The first names for each contact are all in the same column, followed by last name. In addition to that, the file type that we need is an Excel file, which can be XLS or XLSV or a CSV file. So there are two basic methods how to get your contacts out of Outlook, and that's either by exporting them into a file or copying and pasting them from a message into Excel, which we'll do second. So we're going to start with exporting by file and specifically exporting a distribution group. You can also export all of the contacts from your account, and I'll show you where you do that. There's actually just a few more steps if you're doing it from a distribution group. So I thought I would show that one here. So I have all of the steps written out that I'm going to actually demonstrate for you. And this is done so that if you want, you can just review the PDF without watching or listening and follow directions. So right now, I'm going to start with Outlook. So I'm going to go to Outlook and go to People. So once I'm in here, I want to export a distribution group. I have to identify that list. If you just wanted to export all your contacts, you go to File, Open Export, Export. Make sure you're choosing to export to a file. You want comma separated values. That's what CSV stands for. And then you're just going to choose contacts and proceed. And the rest of the directions that I'm going to do will encompass this also. You're going to name your file. Hit minor exists. I'll say yes. And then mapping custom fields. You want to make sure you have email type, or email address in your exported fields. And that's really the key to exporting all of the contacts in your database. Now, specifically to do a distribution group, you would search for that group. This is the one I'm using. And here they are. Okay, I'll bring this down. You want to go to Edit. So your contact data is going to export the same way it looks here. And to do that, I'm going to save this. Go to Save As. And I'm going to save mine as a text-only file. I'm going to replace this. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Excel. I'm opening up a blank Excel. And I need to import that text file. So here, I'll look this up. I'm going to go to File. Where'd it go? Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to go to File. Open, sorry. There's my text file. Take time news. Okay, since it was a text file, I have to then convert it into something that Excel can open. So you get this text import wizard. I'm going to keep mine as delimited. My data looks like it doesn't start until row 5, so I'm going to change mine to row 5. I don't really have headers. I'm not going to check that, and I'm going to hit Next. Okay. So right now, a tab is checked by default. I'm going to preview my data, and it looks pretty good. So from here, I could also say that I want to separate by space, and this would put my first name, the last name, the email address in parentheses, and then these in another column. So that looks good. I like that. I'm going to hit Next, keep it as general, and hit Finish. Okay, so here is my data. I don't need these with the parentheses, so I'm going to just delete this column. And this looks like first name, last name, and email address. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to insert, I'm going to add a header row to my data. You don't have to do this. It's it's easy to identify which column is which. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to give that a header row. File, and I'm going to save this. Do you want to keep using that format? No, I don't want it to be text tab delivered in anymore, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to put it into this folder. I'm going to change this to Excel. You could also change it to CSV. Save it as Excel, and save. So this is the exact format that you need to import into OpenMoves. Everything, the same data, is all in columns. Okay, so going back to my spreadsheet, that was basically all these instructions. Now, we're going to copy the contacts from a message by expanding a distribution list into Excel. So to do that, I'm going to go to Outlook. Here, I'm going to close my extra window, go to Mail, say New, and I'm going to enter in my group name, and I'm going to expand it. It says, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. All right, now I have to scroll up to make sure I see all my contacts. Okay, that's invalid. All right, so I'm going to select all of these, select all, and copy. Now, before we can paste them into Excel, I need to paste them into Word because I need to make sure it's the correct. I need to do some finding and replacing, which is harder to do, I find, in Excel. So to do that, I'm going to open up a new Word document. I'm going to paste my contacts in. Okay. So just to show you what would have happened had we pasted them directly into Excel, my cursor's here. Everything is in the first row, so this is no good. We need things in columns. All right, going back to my Excel. So to get this into a format where we can paste into Excel, I'm going to search and replace. So I'm going to do Control H. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to separate each contact to be on its own line. And its own line in Word is equal to its own row in Excel, which is what we want. So if each contact is on its own row, that means all the first names are lining up in the same column and all the email addresses are lining up in the same column. So that's what we're going for. So the characters that actually divide one contact from another is a semicolon and a space. So, I mean, you can copy it from here if you want, paste it into your find what field, and then we want to replace it with a manual line break. So go to More, Special, Manual Line Break, and hit Replace All. Okay. All right, good. So this is perfect. Everybody's on their own line. Now, if I were to copy and paste this directly into Excel, all of these things would be in one column. So it's still not good enough yet. We need, here to show this to you. This is still incorrect. I need email address isolated into its own column, and right now it's combined into column A. So going back to my Word document, I am now going to get rid of these parentheses. So Control H, look for the first one, replace it with nothing. It should be blank. Replace. Okay? And do the same thing for the closing parenthesis. Okay. And then lastly, I want to replace the spaces. Sorry, it's the background noise. I'm going to replace the spaces with tab characters. So I'm going to find all spaces and replace with, again, going to Special, a tab character. Replace all. Okay, so a line break in Word equals a row in Excel, and a tab character equals a column change in Excel. So I'm going to Control A or select all of this. Copy it. Go back over here, click on the first column, and hit Paste. Sorry, I'm just going to do Control V. All right, and there we go. It is now in the correct formatting. So first name, last name, email. Again, you go to save this. It can be Excel. It can be a CSV file. Take time, news, distribution, copy. And there you go. So these are all the directions how to do that. And now you're ready. So this training video, I'll quickly show you how to import it into an account. And these directions are available elsewhere. So this basically concludes the presentation that shows you how to export those contacts, and this is just going to review how to upload contacts into your platform. So then we have my accounts. I'm going to do a new address book. I'm going to name it Take Time News. Save. And I'm going to choose the file option. Choose file. And I probably can use either one of these. I'll do that one. That's the one I just did. Your email address will appear here when you're signed in as yourself, and so you just upload your file and hit upload. And now here I'm going to map my columns in my spreadsheet to the existing data fields. And so this is showing the first column, which was my first name. Here it is, my data field. Okay, my last name data field is here. And the last one is email. The most important one is here. Now, to review, all you need in your file is the email address. You do not need to import anything else about your contacts. This is just for you're rounding out the data. In case you wanted to personalize your email, you would need to upload first names and last names or any other information you need. You hit finish. It is validating my import, checking against your existing suppression list. And now it is done. If I go to this button here, go to address book, you can now see all my contacts in the account.